Look, that is Burt Lancaster, isn't it? Nicely done. Anyway, here is the glamorously titled M5A1. Isn't it didn't the British call it a Stuart? Anyway, I haven't done enough American stuff really, have I? I was thinking that the other day and I thought I haven't done enough French. Definitely haven't done enough Italian. The rather wonderful Caro Armato. And plenty of other things. Don't think I've done anything Chinese apart from a submarine, which didn't go brilliantly well. So anyway, here we are with the M5A1 US light tank pursuit operations set with 4 figures. Do those separately, but we will be doing Burt Lancaster. Detailed static display model set, as usual, accurately reproduced for our form, including compact turret. I would hope so. Bogie type suspension faithfully remodelled. Realistic weld and bolt details. Surely that's just part of the job. Comes with accessories such as mortar and portable radio. Well, there you go. Figures and 2 types of markings included. That's our tank for today. I'm very interested in very light tanks, and I'm always moaning about how the British produce tanks with guns that are too small. That's because the tanks are often huge and they deserve a bigger gun. But I don't get why there was a sort of march away from the very light tank, like the Panzer I, which are basically portable machine gun nests. I can't see why that failed, because you've still got blokes running around with the bigger machine guns, haven't you? So having them on wheels with a bit of metal protection surely is a benefit. Possibly not, I may be wrong, but here we are with a light tank with a light gun. A good gun which could do a fine job. But anyway, tanks were getting bigger, guns were getting bigger, all of that. They never quite died out though, did they, the light tank? Or is it the Scorpion the British had, which was the fastest tank in the world? Wasn't exactly, equipped with the largest gun, but it was small and it was fast. I ramble on, let's make this. Wow. Tell you what, let's open the lid. I have looked inside. This isn't a real unboxing. I don't understand them. Unboxing videos. Anyway. Ta-da. That's the Japanese one. Not meaning to. It's gone all dark, isn't it? What's going on there? Here is our hull. What have I done? That goes to show how small it is, and probably great fun to do. 3 sprues, the majority bit, a few more bits of the hull, various lids, and here we have the figures. There's, sorry, Burt Lancaster is there. And then predominantly wheels, as usual. And then stuff. Tracks. You've seen it all before. I just said lids, didn't I? Because I'm often dismissive with terminology. I'm not bothered. Some people place great emphasis on terminology because their lives are so empty. And it gives them value in life. But Leeds is a funny thing, because I used to live in Leeds. And when Leeds United were playing at home, the football fans would go storming down the street shouting Lids, 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 Lids. And I had visions of things that weren't right, but anyway, there we go. Lids and tanks. Build it, man, build it. Wheels, as usual. I have a kind of love-hate relationship with this kind of suspension. It's very specific, if you see what I mean, and it's one of those that could be a little bit over-engineered, couldn't it? It kind of speaks of in the interwar period, and everybody, even the Germans, had to move on from this kind of thing. But they're enjoyable to make, and hopefully they'll stick on neatly. Here's a bit of the hull, the base of the hull, and there's the top half with panels that you put in. Quite an odd thing to do, I suppose, or not, as model making goes. I always wonder at the kind of futile part that's just been hacked off for no real reason. I'm much more a fan of things like, and then you get, I don't think it's the case with this one, but they'll kind of take a panel out like that and go, great, that's created a part. And then they mould in the hatches and stuff. Be better off having the actual objects, the individual sections from real life represented, than creating parts unnecessarily. But anyway, excuse me, the hull, this is going to move along swiftly, I feel. Just a so far so good moment. All the wheelie bits are on, all need kind of weathering in, and starting the top of the hull, some very odd bits and pieces to go on. Look at all that glue. God, that was bad. Yeah, sort of just random panels, as I said before. And then the turret made up of a whole series of panels. We're only probably a third of the way through there. And it's coming along nicely, really, apart from all the glue. Don't remember slopping glue around like that, but there we go. Yeah, progress is being made. Well, almost there then. Coming along nicely. Just got to sort out tracks and things, a little bit of weathering there, and then the top of the hull can go on. Nice one. Right, forwards we go with handles, loops, and other funny little things. I've saved these up till I've got the tweezers out and I've steadied my nerves, that kind of stuff. I've done a vague count and I think there's about 25, so I might be some time on this. One small problem has arisen. You see all this slightly shiny paintwork around here. I'm just starting to do layers of thin washes, darkening that up as if you've got just a general residue of grot. So I'm going to probably use the anthracite paint on there. And I just started, this is still wet so it's shiny. I just started with a darker colour. I just glued that on. I just glued the shield on there, and I've lost it. I've lost a few parts in the last few films, haven't I? And this one I can really account for because the cat came by and she jumps off the windowsill. She comes down and she likes to brush against you in a very loving hello kind of way. And in doing so she brushed against the tank, and that shield is now attached to the cat, who's gone out. I'll show you out. So there's the edge of the house, there's where she comes out. I know a lot of you have seen this before, but obviously not everybody. The piece in question is somewhere out here. And you know, strangely, I feel confident that it will turn up. Whether it will turn up in a year's time or something, I don't know. But weirdly, things that I think are lost do appear. And weirdly, there's a little piece of sprue that keeps haunting me. And I'm sure I picked it up and threw it in the bin. But I keep finding it over there. So, blooming heck. If not, I'll just have to do without it. But we'll see. I'll go and have a lie down in a darkened room and scream for a while, and it might reappear. Who can say? Nice day. Sky's a bit busy here and there. Right, time for tracks and the side panels, and time for to put the hull together. So we're nearly there. Oh, for goodness sake, look at the light. I'll try again. Whoa, that's quite nice. It's weirdly it's clouded over and it's got dark out. Unnecessarily. Hello, cat. And so I've just put a torch in, and it's let's face it, it's a bit too bright, but it gives us an idea. Anyway, here we go. There is the hull on. It is only clipped on because, of course, you could have had a little motor in this. And the tracks are on. And I don't think there's much more to say. I'll put the side panels on and we'll get going again. Well, it's a beautifully sunny day, but surprisingly windy. I really didn't expect that. Anyway, here we are. We're nearly done. A little bit of weathering because the last few bits are going to go on, and then I can get it all to kind of merge over time. I didn't expect this level of weathering to go as well as it has, so that's a positive. That might be... oh no! We may have to go somewhere shaded to discuss a small wobble. Nice shadow. Right, the problem being this. This kind of, all this side gubbins, it doesn't want to go on. And I've tried small amounts of glue, naturally, as you would, and it's just, I was trying to work it out. The problem lies around about there. Not that the light's helping, but you get the gist. It's around about there. There's just something that's a little bit out of line, or a little bit thicker than it should be, and the problem appears to be, by my reckoning, and a very, very small set of calipers, 1/5 of a millimetre. So it shouldn't take a lot to get it all going, but it all went well on the other side. It all went well on the other side, so there we go. And really all it's going to take is me slipping a bit of glue up under there and around the back, and then holding it for a very short period of time. So just having a quick look at how things have been going, the only real, because I think that will sort itself out, like I say, the only real issue then is the edge around here, where this top panel should slip into the outer section of the turret. And there's what looks like a gigantic step, and I've left it so we can see it and talk about it. The urge to sand it down is remarkable, but I'm resisting it. Anyway, that's the worst part of this model, I would say. And it wouldn't sit, and I thought, right, we've got to talk about this at some point, so like I say, I've left it. What else? That's all, really. I suppose this front face of the hull is just a little bit, you know, and I left that as well because a tiny bit of filler would sort it, but there we are. I mean, really, there's almost a so what quality there. They are small issues. When you think, I mean, I'm, you know, getting up close, look at the size of my finger against it. Once again, at its worst, I would say that was less than 1/3 of a millimetre. So an old Tamiya tank, simple stuff, and in actual fact it's fine. Tiny little problems that could easily be solved, but I've left so we can look at them. Right, so I'm off to do a bit of gluing. Wish me luck. Right, the side plate is on. A little bit of messy glue just came up there as I squeezed. Could turn that into a bit of muck. Weathering is my friend. And I can't remember what else I've been doing. A couple of bits have got stuck on. Smartened up the blades at the front, colour wise. Goodness me, my memory's gone already. And my throat's going as well. Gradually the voice is going. So much talking. I don't think so. Perhaps it's the glue. Anyway, nearly there. Got to put tools on at the back. Did you see that? I was pointing. Tools on at the back. And just a couple of little bits and pieces. I'll do Kirk Douglas as a separate event. But I'll do him soon, all being well. And oh yeah, I've knocked 2 bits off. Little handle there, and I looked back at some of the footage. That's been gone quite a while. And something else has come off and I can't remember. Mind you, if I can't remember and I can't see it, it's not as if it's like the front wheel or something, is it? So we're okay. A few losses here and there, but we're okay. And we're getting closer still. I think almost every single part is on now. And really it's all gone very smoothly, I suppose. I've got a bit of painting and a bit of weathering to do, and that is about that. I will do Burt Lancaster as a separate event. I've got to put the spare wheel on the front, and it comes with it is accompanied by 2 bits of kind of baggage. I'll put the wheel on because it's part of the structure itself, isn't it? But I'll put the baggage on with Bert because they're more human endeavours. So there we go. Nice day, but windy, which is unfortunate. I must confess, I've got to the point where I'm knocking bits off now, and I've bumped the Bert's machine gun. I had to do a running repair on that, which I'll tidy up, and I still can't remember what the other bit is that I've knocked off. So there's a couple of repair jobs to do, despite the fact that I haven't actually got finished. Oh, I've got to put some markings on, haven't I? God dear. Never mind, we'll get there. So hopefully the next shot will be of one complete tank. You never know. We may actually get there. It looks quite nice against the background, doesn't it? And here we are, almost there. I've done a little bit more weathering to bring things together, and I've put a 3rd shade of green on, some of it a bit heavy. You can see just a little bit of darker, more leafy green on that hatch. Where's my handle gone? Oh, I was just about to say, and I remembered the bit that's gone missing. It's the tip of the muzzle. It comes as a separate ring, and that's disappeared out in the long grass. I know that, so I'm never going to get that back. And I've just noticed that handle. Oh dear. Which, as a counterbalance to things, well, you know, I thought I was doing well all of a sudden, because in the bowl that the cat lies in, I've found that That's not very apparent what it is it? It's the framework that protects the headlights. So I gained that. I knew that one had come back because it's quite an apparent shape. And so I thought I was doing well, but now I've lost two little fiddly bits. Yeah, so swings and roundabouts, isn't it? And at last, here is our little tank. A good model and a fine tank. As I've said during the whole process, it's largely gone together well. There's a little bit of a seam problem there, and the big seam problem there, which are actually easy to deal with, so I'm not going to niggle about those. I could use filler and sand them down and all of that kind of thing, but this is what you get. And as for the sort of, the general feel and look and weight and so on, it's all really good. I enjoyed it more than I expected. So that's saying something, isn't it? Thank you, flies, for ruining the scale. And it works well. So I would say if you enjoy making tanks, go on, get this one. It's small, it's pretty quick to do, and it's enjoyable. As for the tank, I know I ramble on about how the British really had the wrong idea, and just couldn't see, or didn't seem to want to see, Blitzkrieg coming and the bigger tank. Because by the time the war had started, the Panzer IV was out there with a fairly good gun, and we were going around with pokey little things. Well, here's an example. Now the point is that the British put all their, and to some degree the Americans, not completely, put all their efforts into these lightly gunned tanks, whereas the Germans were going bigger and more powerful. But just because you've got big and powerful tanks, does that mean you have to do away with the small, lightly gunned tank, or even the ones that are basically machine guns? Because they still must have a role, mustn't they? And this is a really good example. There are plenty of post-D-Day bits of footage that shows great numbers of these tanks hurtling down roads. Because obviously what this is it's a light artillery piece that can move itself around. And the same goes for the ones with guns a little more than machine guns. They're mobile machine gun posts. Why did that become unpopular? The Germans really did away with the Panzer I and II because they obviously felt it was redundant. But I'd have hung on to them simply as infantry support. But there we go. I don't see why one is exclusive to the other in either direction. So therefore, I'm a big fan of this tank, is what I'm trying to say. I'm a big fan of the lighter tank. I really like the Panzer II. The problem with this and some of the British ones is there's a degree of over-engineering in the bodywork. Lessons should have been learnt from the T-34 by now. But still, I think there's real room for a light tank. And the perfect example of this going forward is the British Scorpion tank. Fastest tank on the scene, and could still pack a punch. So I like these little ones. Really good things. Like, it's easy to be overwhelmed by the Tiger, is the other side of this argument, isn't it? It really is. Oh, we must all have Tiger tanks. Well, as long as you've got a few things that can match it, you can slip a few of these in too. So, yeah, small light tanks have their place in my world. Therefore, I like having models of them. Now, Burt Lancaster and the machine gun, he will be next, and he will be soon. He will have a little program all of his own. And then as for the mortar crew, I haven't made my mind up yet. Pardon me, excuse me. So, my usual ramble about small guns on tanks goes in a slightly different direction for once. And I have here a really nice tank. Like it a lot. And it's, you know, it's a typical early-ish Tamiya number. So a few bits and pieces a bit out, but you know, it looks good. It's alright. Well, I tell you what, bringing these out into the sun, I'm noticing here I've over-weathered this section and just under there. So I need to bring a bit of the kind of gunmetal back to this section and a little bit of green back to the base of the turret. But anyway, here we are. Nice tank. Very good. I haven't done many American ones. Do you know what I want to do? This is just, I go to the local shop basically, unless there's real specific issues. I go to the local shop, just browse and pick up whatever I fancy. But what I would like, the American tank that I like most of all, is the Sheridan. I'm not going to go out on my way. I could go on eBay, couldn't I? I'm not going to do any of that. But one day I will encounter, I like the look of the Tamiya Sheridan, and I will buy it and I will make it, and I'll be very happy with myself. I enjoyed the Airfix one as a kid, the 172nd, and over time all the wheels fell off, which was a great shame. So I'm overdue reworking one of those. Yeah, I need to do a bit more American stuff. Of course, there's always the Flying Fortress, isn't there? I'm holding back from that because it's too good to be true. Right, thanks for watching. I will stop rambling. Feeling a bit kind of light-headed, a bit delirious, so I'm just blabbing now. But yeah, we'll get a Sheridan going one day. Thanks for watching. See you soon with something else completely different, I'm sure.